Testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Testing, testing. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Testing, testing. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? Hey everybody, just making sure I don't have the repeat like last time. I'll put a link up in just a second and start this up. Just trying to make sure we don't have the repeat. So somebody tell me if my words are repeating. Because it sounds like they are. That's crazy. Hey everybody, just making sure I don't have the repeat like last time. I'll put a link up in just a second and start this up. Just trying to make sure we don't have the repeat. So somebody tell me if my words are repeating. It sounds like they are. That's crazy. Hey everybody, just making sure I don't have the repeat like last time. Put a link up in just a second and start this up. Just trying to make sure we don't have the repeat. So somebody tell me if my words are repeating. Alright, so let's get this link up here. Okay. So let's get this link up here. Alright, y'all, there's a link for you to join if you'd like. And let's do this, shall we? Now, if anybody's hearing repeats or if anybody cannot hear anybody who joins, please let me know ASAP. Alright. And let's do this. Mute this stuff, fun stuff. Alright. And here we go. Alrighty, welcome everybody to Wine Wednesday with the Whisperer. Sipping on a little Merlot tonight. It's become my new thing. I really like it. Hello, K-Town Reefer. Hey, Lucy. Hey, Salty. Hey, Living Garbage. That's so weird still for me to say. Hey, everybody who hey, Larry. Hello. Welcome. There's a link in the description. I have nothing extremely important planned for this evening. I missed you guys, frankly, so I thought I'd better get in here and do a live stream, see how everybody else is doing. Tell me about your seahorse tanks. Come chat with me. If you got any issues or anything you want to discuss, jump on in. I don't know about you all, but it's been an overwhelming, year. So, anyhow, we will eventually get back to guests and on, topics, but for tonight, we're just here saying hey, and seeing if anybody's got anything going on. I know Cheryl, if you happen to be in the audience, Cheryl had mentioned that she might jump in and tell us. She's been working with her local reef club on some things, and that's why she's been so busy. I know Dan is extremely going crazy with new seahorses and all fun stuff over there. So Lucy apparently can't talk. Not sure what's up with that. So I'd love for someone else to join, just so we can see if there's any problem with the audio in the Hangout. So if you want to join, that link's right there. Feel free. Otherwise, I'm going to ramble. And let's see. I'm trying to read through the comments here. I would love for anybody to jump in, tell me anything that's going on with you guys. If not, I'm going to ramble about what's going on with me, and y'all don't want to hear that mess. So come on. Let's see. Larry said, cured your male of gas bubble in the pouch after watching one of my videos. Yay! You have absolutely no idea how much that thrills me. That's actually an old video, and I need to redo it, but that makes me feel so great. Thank you for sharing that, Larry. I really appreciate that. And I'm so glad that you were able to cure him. I would love to hear more about it. Comment away. Tell me about how it helped and all of that. Tanks and Updates says, let's see, the line seahorses are doing great as always. They haven't bred yet, just flirted. They'll surprise you. I've heard from quite a few people that they don't even realize that the seahorse egg exchange has happened. For some of the people that have been doing this for a while, like Lucy or I, or one of the professional breeders, Dan, Cheryl, any of those, we kind of have it timed down to clockwork. But when someone is experiencing their first situation where the seahorses are breeding, and the first situation with fry, a lot of times you can't really tell, especially if the seahorses are young, and if it's like their first time breeding or mating together, because the seahorse, it might not be as many eggs as it will be in the future, and the male might not be as developed as he will become. They start breeding really early. As soon as they're able to, they're at it, like little rabbits. And so, the first time usually is not a tremendous amount of fry, in my experience. Is not a tremendous amount of fry, and it's you sometimes can't even tell that the male is pregnant because there's fewer eggs. That's not always, but just kind of rambling. That's what I do. So, but takes and updates. I hope you're enjoying the flirting, because that's my favorite part about seahorses, is watching that mating dance, the courting dance, watching them twirl and chase each other, and it's magical, right? I mean, come on. And let's see. All right, so you're having Lucy's having her, okay, I probably shouldn't say that out loud, should I? I don't know. But Lucy's having her permit visit on Friday. Woohoo! That will help the website that's still in development get up and running, because we need Lucy to be ready to go in order for that to happen. So that's good news, absolutely. And you found eggs in the 5-month-old tank. You hope they don't breed. See, that's the other thing about breeding, is we don't give the pros, and I mean even when I say pros, I mean even experienced long-term breeders like Cheryl, Lucy, myself. It's a lot more work. We don't give the people that really put the time into it enough credit, I'm telling you now, because once they breed the first time, then you have all these seahorses. You can't sell them until they're of age and a certain height and ready to be transferred to, an Aquarius tank. And then they start breeding with each other. And you can't have that, because then that leads to, a lot of genetic flaws down the line if you let them inbreed. So literally you're talking about, not only do breeders have to house all of these fry and feed them continuously, so much food, and grow them up strong and big to come to your aquariums, but You also have to separate the males and the females a lot of times towards the end so that they won't breed with each other. Breeders, I've seen Tom Hornsby's books are ridiculous, you guys. Tom Hornsby, Norfolk. What's the name of Lucy? Help me out. What's Tom's business's name? I always forget. I'll look it up if I can't. If you don't remember. But Tom Hornsby is a great breeder in the UK, and I've seen the books. It's ridiculous how much they have to make sure that they have each tank labeled with which parents they come from and which, it's incredible if you actually get down to actually seeing what a breeder goes through in order to make sure that they don't have any inbreeding and make sure that they're continuing to match seahorses and get tremendously strong brood stock in order to make this all happen is just amazing. And seahorse breeding in Norfolk. Thank you. I knew it was Norfolk or something like that. Tom Hornsby's organization is, I think the name of the organization, excuse me, I'm still sick. I think the name of the organization is actually Hansen Breeding or something like that. But on Facebook, you can find them under Seahorse Breeding in Norfolk. If you're in the UK, that is the go-to for seahorses, in my opinion. And always quality seahorses from them. And if you get the chance to see, what they're doing there, it's amazing. Same for here in the U.S. at Seahorse Source. I'm sure in Cheryl's experiences. I'm sure with Alyssa Savvy's, Seahorse Vet Savvy's experiences. It's a lot of work. People have no idea, and it's really cool. But as a breeder, as a hobbyist, just the experience of getting to see them court is amazing. I think it's just magical. And to be successful with one batch is quite an accomplishment. So I know quite a few. Susan is in our Facebook group, and there's quite a few others. Elizabeth Cates, yes, I think. Anyways, there's quite a few others that are actually breeding locally for their local people, and they understand how much work it is now. So, but it's really quite an experience, one you shouldn't miss. I love it, and even though I personally never went to that huge level where I'm trying to make a business of it, I certainly enjoy and love watching the courting, going through the raising of the fry. It's a great experience. And Lucy says she's planning to breed a few more species after the move. Lucy is my opposite. She is actually taking this to the next level, and she's going to be, truly providing captive bred seahorses to the aquarium industry. Pretty darn cool. And let's see. What are the seahorses you guys currently have? Living Garbage asked. Should have been more specific talking about the individuals. Not sure what that means. I personally currently have Cuda, Barbori, Reedi, hybrids. Only one hybrid though. And then Erectus, of course. Yeah, that's all. Oh, and Piebald's, which are actually Erectus, but I personally put them in a different category, even though they are actually Hippocampus erectus. But they're cool and they're unique, so I think they're kind of different. They deserve their own little name. And Lucy just answered the question. And Lucy, what all do you have right now? Do you just work with the Erectus right now? And agree with the, I'm sorry, I know this conversation's kind of one-sided since Lucy can't talk. Jump in, somebody, feel free. Don't make me ramble. But, let's see. Lucy's advice to someone in the audience about jumping into keeping another species was to try to keep the Erectus healthy for a while before trying another species. I couldn't agree more. I personally named off the species that I keep. I to this day keep them all in separate aquariums. I don't keep them together. That's a choice, you know, and it's up to each hobbyist or person as to whether they keep their seahorses together or not. Some people do it successfully with no problems. I personally just have never tried because of issues that, you know, I'd heard about in the past. So I keep species only tanks, but a lot of people don't. So, you know, whatever. But I definitely agree with the advice to make sure you're doing well with one species before moving on to another. There are differences between the species. If I were to, I think I've done a video about it if you go back and look, but, and I know I've talked about this before on a live stream, but like the Barbori are my little princesses, and they're much pickier, slower moving, just have very particular tendencies, and I call them my princesses, okay, even though one's a boy. And then, you know, or little old ladies kind of thing. And then, you know, we've all discussed Erectus or the puppy dogs, and they, you know, are very active, very friendly, very used to everything. The Cuda, I have some opinions that differ from other people about Cuda. I personally think they're right in between the Erectus and the Barbori. And then, of course, some of the, you know what, let's see. I've actually also kept Hystrix, but it was my first seahorses and I didn't do well with them. So anyways, I know I'm rambling. Let me go to the comments. Let's go back to the comments before I go off on a tangent. Let's see. Edison Jerez, you have a female Erectus seahorse. Nice. Did you just go with one female Erectus for a reason, or why? Bitter Lemon said, can I put a seahorse with a clownfish and maybe a trigger? I would absolutely not put a seahorse with a trigger. No way, no how. No. With a clownfish, that is a very highly debated topic. I would personally say that depends on the seahorse and the clownfish. It depends on the seahorse species you're keeping. And just a side note, I know I get off track a lot, but just a side note, depending on where you live will also make a difference in the species that are easiest to keep. For instance, I speak with Chris and Rochelle from Seahorse World or Seahorse Australia often, and they consider, oh my gosh, I can't even think of the name, Subalongatus, is that how you pronounce it? They consider certain species easier because they don't have Erectus over there. So, you know, it depends on where you're from. But anyways, with the clownfish, it depends on the species of seahorse you're keeping as to their personality. And I think even in the species, each seahorse has an individual personality. I've got mean jerk seahorses, and I've got really nice, friendly seahorses. So, you know, getting to know the seahorse before you add a clownfish, I would particularly recommend. And then also keeping the clownfish in quarantine for a while to make sure that, you know, it doesn't have any issues, or vice versa. But the bottom line is keep them separately so you get to know both fish before you put them together, and make sure they're both, you know, healthy and safe to put together, and get to know their personalities. Because my personal clownfish in my reef tank, they bite, they're mean. I would never put them in with seahorses. But many people do very well, very successfully. So it's kind of what you want out of it. If you want a tank with seahorses and other fish, you know, just take that advice to quarantine, keep them separately, get to know them, and don't do triggers. I'm sorry. That's my opinion. Okay. And let's see. Hi and no. Lucy said no to the clownfish. You have to understand, though, one last comment on that is people who are really in love with seahorses or planning to breed seahorses or something like that, they're going to be more prone to tell you to keep a species-only aquarium because it is safer, bottom line. I mean, there's no way you can get around that point. It is less likely to have problems, no matter what, keeping the same species and no other fish. However, that's, because of the plans that we have. If someone wants to do a tank that has seahorses and other fish, it's just kind of up to you. I've given my 2 cents. Lucy's was different. That'll happen, All right, so I'm sorry, I'm trying to read the comments too. Larry Clark said, my Cuda male is major character, loves to swim in front of the pump and get blasted across the tank, does it over and over again. Yes, that's one of the very cool things that we've learned, that's different and helped us keep seahorses so much better now, is because in the early days of seahorse keeping, hobbyists relied on scientific information, and scientific information had to grow. And at the time, everyone thought that seahorses needed low flow. I got jumped in a group once for posting a picture of my seahorse hitched to a powerhead, covered powerhead, of course, Wavemaker powerhead, whatever. It was covered, of course, with netting and completely safe. But they were like, whoa, that poor seahorse, you're terrible. And I was like, no, he's playing. He's playing in the flow. He wants to be there. He sleeps there all the time. So I'm with you. Gotcha. And it's good to hear that other people have that experience. And I'm sorry, I'm going back to Ed and Jerez. I have a female hippocampus erectus that is eating. Probably, is that supposed to say is not eating? Probably caused by a temperature drop. What do you suggest? I tried adult brine shrimp. Okay, you have a hippocampus erectus that stopped eating, is what I'm assuming that is saying. Lucy, are you already answering this? Am I way behind? No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, maybe. Well, I'm sorry. I try to keep up with the comments, guys. You should just jump in and we could talk face to face. But anyway, okay, I'll quit. I'll quit with the guilt trip. All right, so I'm trying to find it now. Let's see. Lucy, I wish you could at least come in and talk. All right. I'm trying to get back there. Okay, 75 gallon with 50 gallon sump, 1 pair in the main tank, 1 in the sump, which is the refugium, Triton method, roller mat filter, adequate skimmer, probably needed chiller, pot belly, needed chiller. Now wait, are we talking about, you guys, I'm so sorry, you've got me lost. Lucy, you're too quick with your answers. I can't keep up, so I guess you guys will have to holler if you need me to answer something. She's covering it all, which is wonderful, but the screen's going blah, 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 and so I can't really keep up. But it said Edison. Okay, now I see. Edson said. Oh, jeez. I'm trying to get there, guys. Sorry. Oh, this is fun. Okay. You turned off the heat in the house, and the temperature dropped overnight. You put a heater afterwards to bring the temperature back up. May I ask what temperature you're keeping them at currently? Lucy said a sudden drop in temperature is not really a big problem for seahorses. I disagree, Luce, completely. Stability, in my opinion, this is all about opinions, y'all, but in my opinion, stability is the number one key in keeping seahorses away from stress. Lucy's answers might be different than mine because they reflect her seahorses, which are used to the aquarium environment and raised by her. In my personal circumstances, one of the first issues that I had, in fact, I think somebody referenced one of the previous videos on dealing with gas bubble. One of the other medical type videos I've done is about Vibrio or Vibrio, however you'd like to pronounce it. And a skin eating problem that happened with one of my seahorses due to a temperature drop. That's why I could tell the same exact story, is that the temperature dropped. I didn't notice until I had gotten home. I tried to bring it back up, and I didn't know at the time that I should have done it slowly versus quickly. And so all that up and down, in my case, it was very drastic. So all the up and down caused the seahorses to get stressed out, weakened their immune systems, and then nothing happened right away. They seemed fine right away. They were a little like ticked off acting, but nothing happened right away. Within a month, the seahorse in question started having skin missing. Won't go into details, family friendly here, but bottom line is there is a video about it on how I treated the seahorse. I did save the seahorse. Hopefully that does not happen to your seahorse. I'm not implying that it will, but if you did experience a temperature drop and brought the temperature back up, first of all, I'm interested in what species. You said 71 degrees. 71 degrees is perfect. Anything beneath 74 is good. But again, in my opinion, the stability is more important than the number. So, I think you're right to at least be concerned about the fact that, there was a temperature drop or spike. And so my personal opinion would be just watch them closely. Maybe if you enrich foods, if you ever give them live troops. I know I saw somewhere, I won't be able to find it again, but I saw somewhere in the comments that you have tried brine shrimp. Now I'm trying not to confuse the stories. The seahorse is not eating currently. Is that correct? Can somebody let me know? I think the temperature dropped, came back up. Seahorse isn't eating, and it won't even take brine shrimp. If that's the case, okay, I'm trying. Sorry. If the seahorse is not eating, then that is something completely different. So I'm waiting for that answer. If the seahorse is eating and you're just concerned, then I would just watch them carefully. If the seahorse is not eating, also minor wild caught. Sorry guys, I'm so trying to keep up with the comments. But anyhow, if the seahorse is not eating, then I would immediately quarantine it, personally. You can try a few different things to get it eating first, but if it's not eating and continues to not eat, if it doesn't eat for when feeding, that's a lot different than not eating for a day. If it doesn't eat for a day and you notice it's acting funny, then there's something wrong. And for going back to my own story, there weren't obvious symptoms right away because the stress, okay, I'll try to explain this as easily as possible. The stress caused the seahorse's immune system to weaken. The Vibrio or Vibrio is omnipresent in aquariums, meaning it's there always. It just doesn't hurt the seahorse if they are strong and have a great immune system. And so, and when I said they're omnipresent, I'm going to go with that's my opinion again because I don't think that's been proven, but that's my opinion again. Anyhow, try to be careful about that. Anyhow, so when the seahorses get stressed out, their immune system weakens. Things that are in the tank that weren't hurting them before all of a sudden hurt them. And you might, if it's something like a bacterial issue, you won't see anything right away. Or maybe you would see that it's just, okay, you said it's not eating at all. Okay, not eating at all. And Lucy asked, do you see her scratching, yawning, having discoloration or weird I can't even talk tonight. Weird behavior. Need a drink of wine, I think. It's Wine Wednesday, right? Hope you guys all got your wine. All right, anyways. Let's see. I hate being up here by myself. You guys, somebody join. Dang it. All right. So, and the answer was no stretching, a bit discolored. Okay, yeah. And Living Garbage said, why are seahorses prone to have skin abnormalities or damage during sickness? And Lucy said, oh gosh, I cannot follow these comments, you guys. Okay, Lucy said because they don't have scales. True. Correct answer. Lucy's right. Basically, it's because they don't have scales, so it's easier for them to get bacterial infections and things like that. So again, bottom line is they have no scales, skin instead, and therefore when they get stressed out, immune system weakened, that's what's going to get attacked first usually, or the gills, or whatever. All right, and let's see. Trash bag fashion lover. We got a lot of trash and dumpster and garbage people up in here tonight. Yay! I love it. Hello, welcome. I'm just up here rambling tonight, apparently, answering questions because nobody's joining. Let me put that link up again, just in case. I know I keep mentioning it, but, just in case anybody wants to join, tell me how they're doing. Or let me know if the link doesn't work. Let me know. All right, let me see if I can go back through these comments because I know we missed some. Lucy's usually in here and able to interrupt me, but we were having some problems with her mic. So that's why I'm trying to, I'm just going to go back to the beginning and kind of go through it. How's that? But actually, before I do that, I wanted to say, if your seahorse isn't eating and it's due to a temperature spike, yeah, I never finished that conversation today. I personally would quarantine it and try to get it eating. I would quarantine it for 2 reasons. First of all, because if there is something wrong, you want to make sure that whatever's wrong doesn't spread to the other seahorses. Second of all, if there's nothing wrong and it's just, ticked off right now, maybe a little stressed out, then you could get it. You could have a more focused way of getting it eating. Some people would disagree and say that pulling the seahorse and putting it into a quarantine tank would cause more stress. I just personally have found that usually when the symptoms that you're talking about happen, you're going to end up, in my opinion, the seahorse will have to be quarantined anyways. So I personally would say do it now. And just even for observation reasons. I'm not saying throw medicine at it. I'm just saying put it in a separate tank where you can really try to get it eating. Trying different things. You mentioned you tried live foods. Maybe if the seahorse did not take Artemia, which is surprising, very surprising, maybe try mysids. And of course, enrich, any of the foods that you're feeding. If you need any assistance or any help with that, just let us know because we can, of course, help you with that. But yeah, beefing up their immunity is key, especially if they're stressed out already and have just experienced something. And then if the seahorse continues not to eat, or if, their other problems begin to develop, then of course there are next steps, and we can help you with those if you need it. If those things happen to occur before next Wine Wednesday, Seahorse Sources group is an excellent source where you can ask these types of questions on Facebook. And then, you can get responses from some of the pros and myself. I'm in that group also, adminning it. And we can help you through treatment if that is needed. Again, I'm not saying do that right away. Just saying maybe pull and quarantine for observation reasons and to try to get the seahorse to eat. All right, so I went back. I hope that answered it. Let me know if it did not. And I wish Dan was here. He's so good at answering these questions. Another, I don't want to mention one group without mentioning the others. If you do get on Facebook, in addition to Seahorse Sources group, there's Seahorse Keeping Made Fun, which is run by myself and Verity and Tom Hornsby, which I just mentioned earlier, is an excellent breeder in the UK. That's a great group for answers. And I think Seahorse Sources group is just a little more scientific in things and based in the US. Seahorse and Pipefish is another group that's great and has some of the really, really scientific professional people that are out there doing research and such. So all 3 groups are great resources for you to get answers if you don't want to join Wine Wednesday or if we're not online. Okay, let's see. So everybody said hi. I went back to the beginning of the comments, guys. If you get bored of hearing me ramble on, join. All right. So I went back to the beginning, and I'm going to scroll down as slowly as possible so I make sure I did not miss any other questions. I still love the Larry comment. That makes me feel so good. that seahorse is doing better. I'd love to hear more about it and, what exactly you did and all that. I love hearing other stories. Hey, Christopher Carey on Facebook. I forgot to watch Facebook comments. I was just talking about you, Christopher Carey, and how excellent you are, and how we have different considerations of which species are easiest due to, location. So I was just talking about you. Hi. And I need to talk to you further because the Rochelle article is almost done. So after all this time, I'm sorry. But all right, I'm actually going to pull up Facebook real quick. And I'm rambling endlessly and answering questions because nobody's joined. But that's okay. I'm cool with it. But that's what we're doing right now. I'm going to pull this up to make sure I don't... Lucy, do you have Facebook open? I'm guessing you do. Just want to make sure we're not missing any questions over there. And I can't even get it up. Ugh. All right, well, Lucy, please go check Facebook comments. Make sure that we're not missing anything. And yes, your ears were burning, Christopher Carey, because I was talking about you live to whoever's watching. You're trying to jump on the live chat? Okay. Did you try the link and it did not work? You should be able to click the link that I put into the chat. And you should be able to, you should be able to click the link and then it should take you to Hangouts. You know what? I did forget to mention, anyone who's new to the channel, first of all, subscribe, y'all. Subscribe to the channel so that you get notified when we go live, because I'm often late. But also, if you want to jump in the live stream instead of just doing the comments, you do have to download Hangouts, Google Hangouts, and you have to download Google Chrome. Those are the two requirements in order. It's not my requirements. It's the Hangouts requirements to jump into the chat. So once you have those two things, you should be able to click on the link that I put into the comments and jump right in. And then if anybody needs any help, like they want to come in but they don't want their camera on, I can show you how to do that. No problem. I go through it with Ray almost every week. So, and where's Ray? Jeez, the one week I would love to have him up here chatting. All right. And Chris has been in the process of moving house. Life has been hectic. That's why you've been quiet lately. Do you know what I've noticed? And that's why I got on tonight. I did not have a guest. I did not have a topic, but I was like, I've got to go live because I miss my seahorse people. We've all been going through so much stuff in like the real world that I miss you guys terribly. I really do. I haven't been able to catch up with Dan in like a week. It's crazy. And Lucy, I keep meaning to call her and I can't. And Chris, it's terrible. But anyhow, so that's why I'm here, is because I miss you guys. And I wanted to see if anybody had any seahorse topics or questions, or reef even, and if anybody wanted to jump in. But either way, Chris, even if you can't jump in, we are so glad to see you and hear that you're doing well. And good luck with the moving. Hate moving, so good luck with that. And I'll touch base with you later, either way. And you said, you hope my sickness is better. You can still hear the frog in my throat. It's just never ending. I've decided I'm just going to have to live with it. Whatever. But, okay, so I've rambled on. Let me know if you're still having problems jumping in. The other alternative, if you want to jump in and the link is not working for you, is that you can message Lucy or I, and we can, because I don't want you to put your email up in the comments, but if you provide your email to us, we can send you a direct link. And that's an option for every week. If anyone's interested, I know the website's still down, but once it gets up, you will have the option to enter your email, and then every week you'll get a link, and you don't have to join, but then you'll have an easy way in no matter what. If you get the email link, nobody has trouble getting in. So if you can get your email to us, then we would be happy to send you a link that's a little more direct than the one in the comments. But again, you still have to have Chrome and Hangouts. So, hey, go download them now. It doesn't take long. Okay. All right. Excuse me. All right. So, let's see. I'm going to try to go through these slowly and see what I've missed. We are doing some guides too on breeding and other things, so those are coming. So anybody who has listened in to this live stream and is like, what are they talking about with this, that, or the other? Very, very soon there will be guides available so you can catch up and get up to speed with us. We want everybody to have the opportunity to not only learn but share, and us all grow as a community and, you know, promote aquaculture seahorses. So, all right. I've been doing a lot of work. I've been speaking, not a lot of work. I'm working on some articles. Hey, Salty Reef. Thank you for the super chat. You're awesome, man. Get in here and talk to me. But thank you, Salty Reef. I really appreciate it. I don't feel like I'm bringing much to the table today, so you're awesome. Thank you for the support. But, well, now where was I? Now I got lost again. And you guys got to quit with the questions. I can't stay on track. All right, so I'm kidding. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. But I don't even know what I was saying. We want everybody to be able to, you know, help each other. I think that was it. Oh, that's what it was. Is that I've actually been working a lot lately with conservationists. And when I say working with, I write articles. So I've been talking to them, interviewing them. And it's fascinating. The research just fascinates me. And I'm trying to put it into articles that will be enjoyable to people that maybe aren't as fascinated as I am. Because I think everything's fascinating about them. But hopefully they'll be good articles and you guys will enjoy them and learn a little bit. But the really cool part is a lot of conservationists have turned around and changed their minds about aquaculture. And so, you know, truly, I can truly foresee in the very near future where conservationist, aquaculture, you know, the marine aquarium industry, where we're all going to work together for the better good of all. And so I really see that coming, and people are starting to open up and listen to each other's. All right. Just going through comments. Oh, wait, I should have some background music, you know, like la la la. I won't sing though, I promise. Okay. All right. And then it's gone. But I think someone asked. How many fry come? I think I saw that question. If there was a question about how many fry come in each batch, that I think Lucy answered it, and absolutely it's completely dependent on the species, the age of the seahorse, whether they've been, you know, breeding for a while, or if it's their first time, or if they're too old. Chris, if you're still watching, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think they have the largest broods in general. I know that there was a scientific, or a hobbyist, or I'm sorry, an aquaculture quote about like 1,116 fry. Yeah, and I know that, you know, Dan and Alyssa have had experiences where we talked about the clownfish. Edson, I'm hoping you can get in. I'm kind of dragging this out just to see if you can. If you can't, please feel free to jump on Facebook, Seahorse Whisperer Society. If you message us at Seahorse Whisperer Society, you will get Lucy or I, and we can help you further. Or again, I named some groups that are excellent at providing help with the seahorse that's not eating. Because I wish I could talk to you, you know, actually talk to you. Oh my gosh, and I just read the comment that you're at day 3 of no eating. Okay. And if Ray was in here, he'd have his discussion about force feeding. If the seahorse hasn't eaten for 3 days, like one day I don't usually worry that much, but 3 days, yeah. I'm going to go back to my original recommendation. You need to quarantine and message us, and we can walk you through maybe treatment, maybe get Dan involved or Cheryl and see if we can't come up with some ideas to help you. Um, and Lucy had already said, please send us a private message or join. Feel free to join. That's another thing, guys. Anybody new to the channel, again, we weren't on last week. We had some difficulties. As with Chris and Dan and Cheryl and everyone else and Lucy and myself, it's just been the Seahorse people have had kind of an overwhelming few months. But we will get back on track, and we want you to come. We want you to jump in and show us your seahorses. You can actually come into the Hangout if you click on that link and you have Google Hangouts in Chrome. You can jump into the Hangout and show us your seahorses, or you can. Somebody's just jumped in. Hello, hello.
Yeah, it worked for me.
It's Salty. Hey, what's up, Salty? How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Anything new going on with you?
Just waiting on the baby to come.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. See, like babies and such, real babies. It's been
Yeah, real
overwhelming
babies.
lately. How long do we have?
Any day.
Yay! And you know I'm terrible with remembering things. Tell me the name and all that.
Little girl. Her name's gonna be Bella.
That's right. Now I do remember because I love it. Oh, I'm so excited for you. Yes, I bet you don't have much going on with aquaculture when you've got a real life baby come in.
Uh, Actually, yeah, I tore down the freshwater tank and made it saltwater.
You did. Why?
I don't know. It's something new.
Yeah. You like change, don't you? I can tell.
Yeah. I just the freshwater thing wasn't for me. I tried it.
Yeah. Well, it's very I think it's very good to try different things. And were you doing planted? Is that what you were doing? Or just
Yeah, I was trying it, but I didn't find anything I really liked. The colors just weren't there for me.
yeah. I mean I hear you. I still miss my planted discus tank, but you know, I've been tempted but I've not put one back up. So I get what you're saying. I do. And the planted freshwater planted is, you know, can typically be, I mean, I really think it's comparable with, oh, if you're showing us stuff, hang on, let me put you up on screen here. But it's definitely comparable with, a more difficult tank. All right, here we go. We're seeing the Salty Reef's new Salty tank. This is the new one,
Yeah,
Salty? Okay.
it's the one. Yeah, the 125.
Okay, so tell us about
I
the
don't have much in it yet.
125. What did you go through setting it up? Any problems? Everything going good? Tell us your story.
Everything's been good so far. I mean, I had um, live rock still from when the 110 crashed, and I mean, I got a little bit of a diatom bloom, but other than that, everything's gone pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, and that's completely normal. We get a lot of questions,
Yeah,
a lot of questions about seahorses growing algae when the tank is new, and just in case anybody had that question today, please don't scrub your seahorses. We've already talked about how their skin is delicate and it's easy to, have problems with their skin. Don't scrub the algae off. It's normal. Just like it goes away on the rocks, it will go away on the seahorses as soon as the nutrients find balance. But anyways, besides that, yeah, it looks really good. Are you going to do, let's see, based on the fish I'm seeing, are you going to do coral or no?
yeah, I'm gonna do coral.
Okay. All right. And what do we got? I see a fox face. I see a clown. I see is that a sailfin?
The sailfin tang,
Okay.
yeah, and then the Korean angel, but the angel's not staying.
Why not?
It nips coral.
Mm, I figured as much. That's why I was like, oh, really? But still
Yeah,
cool. Still cool.
yeah, that's the only fish I have left from the 110 is the angel.
Wow.
But yeah, it definitely eats coral. I tested it out and it didn't work out too good.
Oh, man. See. I mean, that goes to show too that, I mean, it really does depend on the individual fish. There are species that are more likely to do certain things, and then there are fish within that species with personalities that they're going to do it no matter what. And a lot of times people can get lucky for a long time, and then boom. But, anyways, well, I really appreciate you coming in to share. My goodness, I mean, you must be like waiting anxiously. Like, I mean, is there any signs that we're getting really close to baby, or?
Yeah, we were at the hospital Monday night and we got sent home, but like it's close. It's really close.
That's awesome. Good. That's
So,
very good. Well, we can't wait to see her. She's gonna have to come make an appearance. We'll even do,
yeah,
chocolate milk Wednesday or something, so that it's acceptable. But anyhow, yeah, we want to see her.
yeah.
Did you
And I
have
have
any?
some
Go
zoas.
ahead. Yeah, show me. Oh yeah, I see.
The Arctic ice, and then I think the ones like it's either the red people eater or purple people eater or something like that. And
Very
then
cool.
the anemone, but it's all kind of mad right now because I was messing with the tank. But
Yeah. Does your clown host it?
no,
No. Hmm.
no,
I've often I would love to learn more about that particular situation because, well, I just have questions. Anyhow, it's interesting. Um, anything else about it that you want to tell us?
I mean, everything's going pretty good so far.
What plans? I mean, like what types of coral are you planning to keep? Are you planning to do SPS or
Mixed
just
reef,
mixed reef? What's your light?
ocean revives. I have
Okay,
the T247. I have the AI Prime in the center right now because I need to order another light. But
gotcha.
yeah, so far I really like the light.
Yeah, so it's a newer thing for you.
Yeah,
Did
the ocean revives new. Like
did anyone
I'm used
recommend?
to running halides.
Gotcha, gotcha. You know that boy, people are usually dead set one way or another. So it's interesting that you're really liking the light. Did anyone recommend them to you? Excuse me.
I saw when Rico had his 300. He had them on there, and I liked how it looked.
Gotcha. Hey,
And I
works
got a
for
really good
me.
deal on them.
Works for me, and a good deal always counts. Absolutely. Well, if you think of anything you want to tell us about, oh, do you have is it sumped? I'm assuming.
Yeah, yeah. There's some. It's down in the basement.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I won't make you walk down all the way down there. Someday, though, we'd love a tour. And
Yeah.
if you think of anything else you wanna tell us, or if you want to leave the beautiful scene up, feel free. Did you see any questions in the comments that I missed, or anything that sparked your interest, or that we should talk about more?
I can't see the comments right now.
Oh, okay. Well, okay then.
Yeah.
All right, that works. Well, I'm gonna keep trying to go through them, but feel free to keep chatting with me. Like for serious guys, this is sometimes when I don't have a guest on, this is exactly what I like. I like for people to join and just show me what their tanks are doing, talk about whatever's going on with them, ask questions. This is great. It's not. Sometimes the guest interviews are a little more focused, but this is our friendly Wednesday get together. So I love it, and I love to see the progress of tanks and people and seahorses. So, all right, I'm trying to see where we were. Have you are and also Salty? You do know that once we get through having the child, I say we, once you get through having the child and this tank gets established, I'm going to talk you back into seahorses again. Just telling you now.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
Okay, good. I mean, really, seriously, I still have, well, they're getting older now, but I still have a bunch of seahorses that, we'll talk, because you've helped me quite a bit, so. we'll talk. But I got you covered. And well, I'm very excited. I'm so glad. Thank you for jumping in to test this for me and make sure it works. Everybody could hear him, I'm assuming. Let me know if you could not. And showing how this is done. You're the man. And so, congratulations. Can't wait to see the baby. And, hang out if you want, or if you don't, that's cool. I probably won't go much longer. I want to see if there's any other comments. But if you have anything else you want to chat about, feel free. I'm assuming you're not winding it up since the baby's almost there. But so I want to. You don't even drink, do you?
No.
That's what I thought.
No, not anymore.
Yeah. Well, you can still hang with me. I try not to get too silly. Oh, and
I know.
Go ahead.
I know I need to get a tripod.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys either that or a laptop.
Well, both really. Cheers, Daniel. What you drinking on? And I have a couple of different tripods, and I actually took one to Macna last year and left it because I didn't want to. I had so much stuff taking home that I did not want to try to fit it or whatnot. I could not get it to go back into the stupid box. Anyways, bottom line is, so I'm one short. But the tripods come in definite handy for sure when it comes to taking videos and such. So, yeah. And even the cheap ones, work. Doesn't matter. At Macna, speaking of which, last year, I got to meet some of the other big time YouTubers, and they walk around with these huge, ridiculous machine looking things to keep their cameras straight, and I'm sitting there with my, I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm not that big time, but very, very good that you're looking at tripods. I think you do a good job anyways, though, personally. Anyhow.
Yeah,
go ahead.
It sucks just standing in front of the tank holding the phone, though.
Right. I get you. And I didn't expect you to, by all means. But anyhow. Let's see. Just looking through the comments again real quick here, guys. And Tanks and Updates mentioned that he is Furon 2 to treat what? I missed that part. So be very careful. Also, I just want to mention, be very careful with medicines, because you do have to remember that once you treat a seahorse with a medication, then if you don't complete the medication's timeline, or if you don't, if it doesn't work or whatever, it's just like humans. The more medication, antibiotics and stuff we take, the less resistance we have to future stuff. So I never really recommend just throwing in medicines unless you talk to someone who really knows the situation that you're in and can truly get a grasp of a proper diagnosis. And then, Lucy, Dan, myself, most people that will try to help someone with an issue like that ask more questions than we answer, because we have to know the situation and what's going on before, for instance, me, I'm not willing to tell you a medicine to throw at it because I need to know more about what's going on in the tank and with the seahorse and your whole situation, and maybe even see the seahorse before saying something like that. But yes, I agree. Furon 2 is an excellent medication for treating seahorses. I believe that's what I used in my video to treat the seahorse that did have problems. That with triple sulfa and well, at times I've used Canoplex, depending on the situation. But let's see. Am I missing any other questions, guys? Oh my goodness. Okay. We had a whole bunch of people come in. Sorry I missed saying hello. Trying to see what you guys were laughing about. I hate this thing. I can't see anything. Okay. Have you guys ever worn an unused plastic trash bag as clothing? I can't say that I have. Very good question. Thanks for that. I'm guessing you have? I'll have to check out your channel because it sounds interesting. All right. And Living Garbage said, I am garbage. I don't wear it. Great. Okay. So. And Larry Clark, you said the link keeps going to the Play Store. Did you mean the link that I was providing to the Hangouts? Right. That's because probably if you don't have Google Hangouts and or you don't have, and you're not using Chrome at this moment, then that might be why. It might be telling you to get Hangouts. You do have to have Google Hangouts in order to join the Hangout, unfortunately. And you already have it installed? Okay, I don't know. I don't have any idea. Again, if you provide us with your email, you can message Lucy or whatnot. We can actually, and Lucy, if anybody messages you while we're live streaming, you can actually just forward my email, and it should work just the same for them. So, just a note. All right. And Kylie jumped in. Wow. Hi, Kylie. I miss you like crazy if you're still here. Holy cow. All sorts of people jumping in tonight. That's awesome. Wish more would come in. Thank you again, Salty. And oh, Living Garbage, thank you so much for asking if I'd been to a doctor. I actually have. But you know what? I won't get on a tirade about, or a rant about doctors. But I will say that my doctor's visit led to more doctor's visits. And that's about the end of it. I know Dan has experienced the same thing, so he would tell you the same. I literally went and they just set me up with more appointments. That's what happened. So I don't have any answers. Just, and frankly, I don't know about what's going on in where you guys all live, but here, this virus thing is just taking people down like crazy. Half the schools are out. So, I do understand that that's, sometimes it's just, a thing going around. But in my case, I had some certain things that I won't share publicly, but other things going on that led me to believe that maybe it was more than just what everybody else had. So I am trying to deal with it. I have been to the doctor. I have 3 more doctor's appointments set up. Thank you very much for asking. And I will let you guys know when and if I find out. And hopefully I'll just get better. And I see that Edison and Chris tried to join and it worked for Salty. I'm not really sure. Hopefully by next week the website will be up and you guys can just put your email in and then get the link every week. And then if you don't want to join, you don't have to, but you can if you want to, and not have to worry about going through the link here. Because I think maybe it's like if you're on Facebook it doesn't work, or I don't know. Sorry. But and Chrissy, let's see. I'm sorry I missed this. Chrissy Ware said my pony got his tail caught in a fan. They have been moved to another tank without fans. Should I be doing anything special to help him? Lucy suggested hospital tank with antibiotics. Chrissy said she had him in a hospital tank for a few days. I'm trying to follow it. See, and I move it and it's gone. Had him in a hospital tank for a few days. Treating with Furon 2. Okay. All right. Well, if you've already done it, good. And Lucy is handling the questions like a pro. Thank you. I particularly have had many seahorses with tail injuries that ended up, it depends on the reason for the tail injury. Yours was unobvious.
I don't know. Maybe.
Hi, who joined?
Hi. Good evening. Sorry, my first time here.
Hi.
I'm Edson.
Okay. Let me come over here and put you up. How are you? So tell me more about what's going on with your seahorses.
I'm doing good. Thank you. And my wife is also here. She's looking to be very surprised because she was not expecting me to join a live chat. So yeah, I just got the look. Luckily you're not looking at us because I got crazy hair.
It's
Anyway,
okay. My hair's always crazy.
so I am subscribed to your channel, and of course I get your, when you went live, I saw that, and I am concerned about my horse, and she is the newest addition to the herd. Uh,
Okay.
she's my 4C horse. I had this tank set up for about 2 years, and I have the purpose of separating them. I have because I have one pair in the main tank and one pair in the refugium.
Mm-hmm.
And recently, like I said, the heat, it got turned off in the house, so it
Right.
got really cold overnight. And after that, I noticed that the one female of the four was not eating anymore. The first thing that I tried was giving her a live brine shrimp,
Mm-hmm.
and they always go crazy for it. But when she didn't go for it, I got more concerned.
Right.
So right now we're in day three. She's still not eating. She's hanging out with the male seahorse, but I'm concerned that I know the situation can get can go bad real fast, and that's why I was trying to look for solutions or advice.
Sure. Is the female seahorse that not is not eating? Is she starting to look um, thinner? Is it starting to show? Is her
She's
stomach
no,
sinking
she's
in?
not looking. She's not looking thinner,
Okay.
and her stomach is not sunk. She is looking a little more pale than
Okay.
she was before. Um, the parameters to of the tank that I had them checked last week, they were all okay, except for phosphates, which I tried to address. But everything was fine except for the temperature. And I don't know if you want me to go over the setup again
Yeah,
or
sure.
not.
Please do. Please do. Before you
So
do,
I have a
really quick, I do want to say though, now that I've heard the story a little bit further, the temperature going down instead of up is good. You would much rather have a temperature drop than spike. Stability is key, but I was, in my situation that I was telling you about earlier, it was this the temp went way up. So going down makes me feel
okay.
a little more confident. Now go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. All right, so it's a 75-gallon main display tank, and then my sump is in the basement, and it's a 55-gallon sump, and I have a lot of chaetomorpha in there, and it drops into the roller math, and then it comes back up. I use the house to keep the temperature stable in the tank, so I didn't have a heater, and it was pretty much at 70 degrees. That's what it stayed on during the whole winter, and they were all okay. They were fine with that. Um, and I don't know how low it dropped because we were not even in the house, so it
Okay.
could have gone down to 65. There's no way for me to know for sure. So when I did notice the problem, I ran to the store and I got a heater and I put it on, and it slowly crept back to 71 degrees, and it's probably is racing still, but it raised about 2 degrees in 24 hours.
Okay.
So that was a control increase, but the drop is what I think caused the problem, and I don't know how to make her eat.
Sure.
And I know it's early, but I rather be alarmed early than late.
Absolutely. And I'm sorry, I did hear you say that this is the most recent addition. Is this the same species? And is
Yeah.
it okay? And how long have you had her?
Okay.
Just her.
So I had her for mice. It's right away.
Okay.
Um, she's the first one that I got from the store, and the reason I mention it is because I fed them. I enriched the food with the stuff they sell. It's called vibrancy,
Mm-hmm.
and that has worked very well. For now, until now, and I had no problems. But that is basically the staple diet. The diet is the mycetes and the vibrancy
Hmm.
in which. and she was eating that. She was eating that no problem from day one.
And it's been how long? I'm sorry.
About 3 days.
3 days? No, since you got her, the last one.
About 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
About three
Okay.
weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, the other horses been there. They have been there in the tank for about 2 years. It's
Gotcha.
under.
Okay. So yeah, I mean the first thing, it could be it could be a lot of things, but let's see.
Right.
Are
I
you
know.
able to show us the seahorse at all, or can you not? I mean, can you walk over there?
Um, I
If you can't, it's
can.
okay.
I
Okay.
wasn't.
You're like, I
Let
don't
me
want to
see.
show you
Let
my
me see.
house. I get it.
No, that's not it. But the Wi-Fi may drop,
Okay.
and also I don't know how much we're gonna be able to see from the side because since it is the sump,
Sure.
um, it's got a lot of Kato. But hold on, I might be able to. If the call drops, it's because of the Wi-Fi, though.
Understood. If it does, just come back. We'll figure it out from there.
My wife was doing laundry. Sorry. Okay, so okay. All right. Like, how do I enable the camera?
Your camera's on. Should be. I mean, I see you.
Can you see me?
I see you. If you
Oh,
want
you've
to,
been able to see me all this time?
yes.
Oh my
I'm
God.
sorry. I can take it. If you did not realize that, I would be happy to take this live stream down. I don't want
No, no,
anybody to
that's
ever.
fine. That's fine.
Okay.
I just didn't see because my dog kept coming at me from the right side. I kept pushing him, and I didn't know
You're
you.
fine.
I would have told you that was my dog.
No
All
worries.
right. So, all right. So I don't know how much can you see her.
Do you know what? You're on your phone?
Yes.
Do you know how to flip the camera? Or are you able to on your phone?
Should be able to. Hold on. Let's see. Hmm. Okay, that should do it.
There we go. Okay.
No, I don't.
I mean, I can see the seahorse.
Okay.
This is the male though, right?
That's the male.
Okay.
That is the male. And like I said, I'm sorry, my tank was not meant for anyone to ever see it.
Please don't
But it's
worry.
very healthy for everything else.
Sure.
Um, there is the female. There's the female right there,
Okay. And she's kind
and I
of,
can see her eyes.
yeah, I can see her.
Yeah,
But
she.
so she's hanging out with the male, but she's clearly not happy and not eating. And I'm trying to see her stomach.
Correct. Uh,
Is
her
there any way?
stomach.
Okay, this is the sump with the macroalgae. Is there are there pods in the refuge? Is there any way she's eating and you just don't know it? I'm just trying to make sure of everything.
I recently put a lot of amphipods
Mm-hmm.
in there. Uh, I couldn't answer
Okay.
that question. It's a possibility.
The
That
fact that
is a
you're
possibility.
concerned tells me that there's probably a problem. I'm sure you're right. And you said it's been 3 days since she's come for at least the feedings that you provide, right?
Correct.
I really wish Dan, I wish you were here right now. I hate giving
Okay.
this advice. Okay,
That is
so
fine. Well, you guys have my email. If anything comes to mind, you can let me know.
and I just want to make sure that I have all the facts right. So you got the seahorse. You've had the other three seahorses for years, and then you got this female seahorse 3 weeks ago from the store. Whereas the other three are from Ocean Rider. You added the seahorse, but at first she was great. She was doing great. She was eating. She was happy and no problems. Now, all of a sudden, after the temperature dropped, and you became aware of it, and you began raising it with the heater, she's not eating. Is the heater in the sump with them?
The heater is in the sump. I have a controller here. Not we're now at 72.4.
Okay.
The heater is here, so it's separate from them. There is
Oh,
no
good.
way that they can get to
Okay.
it. Here's the roller mat and the skimmer.
Very
My
cool. I
uh,
really, that's very cool. I've been wanting to try that roller mat,
it.
but
You know what? It's
anyways.
it's it's one of the few things that it does what they tell you
Oh,
that it will do. This is all. I don't know if you can see it, but
yeah.
uh, this is all the stuff that's pulling out.
Wow.
It's this is the clean one. This is the clean side, and this is the dirty side, and it just does what I tell you. You'll do. It's definitely worth it.
That's
It's like
amazing.
a couple $100, but it's definitely worth it. So this comes from upstairs,
Hmm.
and yeah, my wife didn't like that hole in the living room, but she got over it.
I hear you.
Um,
Okay, let me
so
ask you.
this is
Go ahead.
this
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
this is the section where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is
Okay.
the 55 gallon tank at the bottom.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And
I
there.
I I will have to clean the glass and bother them to get a better
No, don't
look
do
at
that.
them.
Don't even worry. Don't even worry. It you can see the seahorse, better, I'm sure. And I was just I was just wanting to see maybe if there was anything unusual that we could see right off the bat about the skin, or maybe, coughing. Obviously, she's not, and I just like to
The
see.
breeding seems okay. Yeah, she doesn't seem agitated. She doesn't, she's not scratching. Uh, there's nothing that I can tell. Her stomach is not sunken
Right.
yet. Maybe a little bit. Um, I was told from the store that I had them check the invoice, to make sure she was an erectus and that she was aquaculture.
Mm-hmm.
So I did, we did do that. Uh, just to give you a little more background on it.
Right. I didn't want to say it out loud, but I will now. One of the, I do not, please don't mention the store, for the reasoning that a lot of times when you buy from a store, I was kind of hoping you would give that information just to be sure, but a lot of times, you know, when you buy from the store, sometimes it's not captive bred. So I'm glad that you checked that. And
Well, without mentioning the store, as you asking me, these guys are very reputable store.
gotcha. Okay.
They're over. Honestly, I go back to them to do business because they will tell you right off. They will rather pass on a sale than having you make a mistake. They will ask you where the fish is going and your setup and everything. And even like if you're gonna buy a mandarin, they're gonna go over with you. So, and you don't see that very often. So I do
No.
trust them very much. They're,
Yeah,
they're
I'm
pretty
I'm very
famous in New Jersey.
impressed. I'm impressed. That's fantastic. I mean, stores are changing, so that's why I didn't really want to jump to that, because they, there are many stores doing a fantastic job. So I'm glad that you're buying from one of them. So we can erase that thought, because I trust your judgment on your own seahorses. And so let's see. You've tried feeding live brine shrimp, and she would not take it. Okay.
How long has the
Go ahead, Salty.
how long's the male been in that tank?
2 years, right? 3 years?
Just under 2 years. Just under 2 years, yeah, roughly.
Okay, so the male's always been in that sump.
No, he wasn't always in that sump. He was with the other two on top. I moved him down here so that I would have two different pairs, and they would, they wouldn't interrupt mating rituals among themselves.
I see where you're going, Salty. Go ahead, bring it home.
Well, I was wondering, like, is there any hitchhikers or anything in that sump? Like, could she have eaten something that bothered her mouth?
It's possible. I couldn't say no. It could only be. I only have what is it called? Isopods and Tisbees. that I do keep a lot of Tisbee pots
I know. I
and
Go ahead.
the occasional brittle worm that I you can't always get rid of all of them. Just to for your point.
Yes, no, of course. I mean, it could be, that she was, ran into a hitchhiker. I also, uh, you know, things work for certain people and don't work for others, but I did notice, the lack of flow. Obviously, it's a refugium. I get it. But typically, that's why the latest advice is not to put seahorses in a refugium because
Okay,
of these types of things. But if your male's been
I
doing
could.
good, has the male been still eating?
Yeah, he's fine. He's fine. He's eating as normal. I could move them upstairs, but before put her somewhere else and stress her even farther,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get some professional input.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be really really sincerely honest and say that I'm going to message you after this because I want to check with the people that I check with because I just don't want to tell you incorrectly. But my first initial thought, don't do anything yet, but my first initial thought is yes to move. I would personally move them to the main display and see if that helped any. But see, the male's already eating down there, right? So that's the part that's bugging me. I'm gonna stick to my first original assumption, and no matter what the cause is, whether the seahorse has been run into a hitchhiker, whether it's just not liking the environment, which would be odd because of the fact that it was happy at first, or it's exactly as you think, and because of the temperature drop, obviously something's going on with the female, whereas the male has remained happy even in the circumstances. So, last question: does the male bully her at all? I don't see any. I don't
No,
see any of that. So,
not
but
no 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 not at all. You're seeing what you're seeing. If anything, they just like they not always hang out together like they are right now. So
gotcha.
no, I haven't seen any type of behavior
Are
like
the
that.
seahorses in the upstairs tank? Are they more active?
Yes, yeah, it's been their home for a while, so yeah, they're pretty active.
Well, I'm gonna ultimately, personally suggest that whatever the outcome with the female, that you probably should keep them in the upstairs tank, just because.
So, okay.
What? Yeah, just because while the sump environment seems like it would be perfect for seahorses, it's just often not. I've done a few other videos talking about how my seahorses in my original seahorse tank were really inactive. They didn't do much. They just sat around. There was no flow. It was kind of like a sump. I set it up that way because that's what I thought I was supposed to do. But when I put them in a tank with flow and they were more active and just were happier seahorses. So I'm going to ultimately say probably move them upstairs, but I'm also going to say that I personally would quarantine the seahorse or the female seahorse. I'd put the male upstairs. I'd take the female. I'd put her in a quarantine tank, and I would personally start treatment. But let me definitely talk to you on the side about that, just because I want to make sure. I really hate giving it any actual advice because of the fact that I would hate to do anything wrong. But my instinct is telling me that no matter what the problem is, the seahorse probably does need to be treated. So, um,
Yeah.
if it's okay with you,
Now, would you do that with just fresh salt water? We don't need to cycle it. You'll just be a tank with just fresh salt water.
for a quarantine tank, you mean?
Yes.
A quarantine tank, yeah, it can be a small tank. It doesn't have to be very large. I know you're worried about stressing her out more, but in a smaller isolated tank, you'll be able to know for a fact that she's not eating and you don't know it. You'll be able to um, make sure, see whether or not she does eat. And if you have to medicate, it's a lot easier in that situation. So that's why I'm suggesting that, in my opinion. And so
Okay.
yeah, it can be any small tank, and yeah, it's just fresh salt water, um, and make sure the parameters are equal to the parameters she's coming from. You could even use that water for the tank if you wanted to. That would be fine as far as I'm concerned. Fresh water would be better, just in case there's something in that water that's causing the problem. But if you can't do that, so yeah, fresh if you can help, if you can, and just provide her with hitches so that she can hitch. And then yeah,
Yeah, I have fresh water. I have fresh water that's available. I have it ready. We just have to get the salinity right on point.
yeah.
And just to give you a heads up, I wasn't really planning on it. It took me a long time to figure it out. I'm about 4% in my phone, so there's a
Oh,
chance it might die.
okay.
Um,
If we
but
do,
thank you so much.
well, no, I'm not done helping you
We
by far. I'm going to help you a lot more. But did
No, I
you
know, but if I do fall off the chat, it's because my phone died. I just
understood?
want to let you know.
And were you able
Yeah.
to touch base with Lucy and get your email information to her, or no?
I did put my email. She sent me the link, and this is how I was
Okay,
able to finally get on
get
the
in.
chat, which I
Okay.
appreciate everybody's help, everybody's concern. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, and
There
please
isn't
don't feel please
there.
don't feel that we're judging, because you're doing a great job, and I love that you're coming in here to ask, ask for help, and
No, no,
I
no.
will.
I'm here to get advice.
Yeah,
I'm not here for you to make me feel good. I'm here to get advice to help this little girl, you know?
I
So it's
love it.
okay. I can handle it. I
I love it.
appreciate it.
And yes, frankly, I'm just not what I would personally consider an expert as far as medications. I do believe that the seahorse will need to be medicated, but I just want to make sure of that and then touch base with you via email tonight. I will touch base with you and give you further recommendation. Um,
Oh,
but yeah,
surely. Surely, yeah.
so other
Thank you.
than that, how has your experience with seahorses been?
You know, I had very good specimens from Ocean Rider.
Mm-hmm.
These guys have been great. They're my first seahorses. I like them. They are high on the high maintenance end of fish. I put up with it. That's fine. But I did try the Triton to keep the water parameters. Overall, I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
I do have to get somebody to come feed them every day whenever we go on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one more thing to worry about. Just overall experience. But I like it. It's fine. I like them. I had them for a while. I get attached to them whenever I do feel. It doesn't happen often, but when I do lose a fish, it's very tough for me. So I do get
Understood.
attached to them, as you can probably as you
Yes.
can probably tell.
No, I'm right there with you. That's to be completely honest, I already know what to tell you, but the reason I'm holding back and wanting to talk to you on the side is just because I care so much about the seahorses, and I understand your feeling, and I want to make absolutely sure that I tell you correctly. And for those of you watching in the audience, I will come back and let you know what happens, or hopefully you will come back and let us know what happens. But I just, I don't like making rash calls on that. So, but do you also keep other aquariums? Do you have a reef too or something?
Everything is linked right now. I used to have it. I used to have two separate aquariums where I had clowns and anemones,
Mm-hmm.
but everything is linked at this point. I have this other tank back here. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see. Like I said, this
Yeah.
was never meant for. So I have some anemones here that they all share the same water, but they are separated. It's
Okay.
a different tank, and I just have a pump that brings water from here to that aquarium. Then it falls back into the sump. And it just provides good ground for pots to grow for my mandarins upstairs.
Sure.
And I have my clowns that I had for about 3 years now, maybe more.
That's
Because
awesome.
I
And one quick
so
question. One quick question for you: have the tanks been tied in for the 2 year period, or for quite a while, or is this
they've
recent?
been tied for about 9 months now.
Okay.
They've been they've been tied for about 9 months now.
Okay.
Yes, they weren't always this way. I had two separate tanks to answer your question,
Sure.
but this turned out to be a little less maintenance,
Absolutely.
and
The
it's everything.
Go ahead.
No, no, it just that it just turned out to be better because I just keeping one. It just desalinate and everything else. It's just easier.
Yeah. No. I
But this is
complete.
a way that I found out of not mixing two different species. There. But to me, it gives benefit from having different species, having it this way because I have so many pots in like this tank, and they all end up in the display for the mandarins to eat.
Yes, that's. I try every time I make a statement like that. I try to be really clear that it completely depends on the goals. And I know that nobody has goals to ever not keep their fish healthy, but I'm just saying there are risks and benefits to almost every decision you make in reef keeping and in seahorse keeping. And so you have to weigh them and make your decisions. I don't judge anybody's decisions, and it could be that, to be completely upfront and honest with you, it could be an issue because
Okay.
most of the fish that we keep in our reef tanks are wild caught. So putting them in the same water as the seahorses that are captive
Okay.
bred can lead to issues. But you've had it that way 9 months, so I'm really not thinking that's the problem, in my personal opinion. I really, to be honest, think you're right, and that it was the temperature drop, or possibly just the seahorse in particular. Not saying the store was bad or anything, but just maybe something's going on with the mixing or whatever. But we will help you figure it out, and we will come back and tell everyone, if you give us permission, or if you come back yourself, and we'll try to resolve it all together. But I think the setup is great, and I agree, it's less maintenance, man. I personally, keeping all my tanks separate is a lot of work. So when it does work, and if you have healthy fish and fish that you've had for a long time and aren't sick or have been quarantined, I'm the last person to say you're wrong. I think it's great. And I mean, you're doing all of these things with refugium and pods and I can't imagine the water filtration going through all those tanks. That's got to be great. So, no judgment here. And did I lose you? I think I lost him. He said his phone was at 4%. So, no worries. But, Edson, just to let you know, and I forgot to get your name pronunciation correct, but just to let everybody know, we will follow up on this. And we will try to help this little seahorse gal, and we will let you guys know what happens with it. Again, I just personally don't like to give medication advice on the live stream because I've seen so many situations in which medications are thrown at a seahorse, and then it doesn't help, or it leads to more problems. So, not trying to avoid, guys, just trying to make sure we get all our ducks in a row and help the seahorse. That's the goal. And Lucy had already given the correct and proper advice in the chat, so there it is. But Edson, we will contact you as soon as we're done with the stream. And is there anything? When he joined, I was right in the middle of answering a question. I can't remember the name, but something about a seahorse tail being injured. And again, Lucy suggested antibiotics. Not an incorrect answer. Antibiotics would be the answer to treatment of an injury. However, I know many people who have just used literally the antibiotic creams, like over-the-counter ointments. If you take the seahorse and pull the tail out of the tank and put it on, or there's actually aquatic like Neosporin. It's I'd have to look up the name, but it's like there's one called Band-Aid bandage or something like that, and there's one. There's quite a few. Is my bottom line, and I'll try to look them up when we get offline, and I'll try to put them in the comments. But oftentimes you can just treat the injury, and if it does get a bacterial infection, obviously you're going to need antibiotics. I did see where you said you were already treating with Furon 2. That is, a good choice, and hopefully it has worked for you. I'll have to go back through the comments, but you did ask if the tail would grow back. Typically, they do not. I don't think they ever have, actually. I'll say no, they do not grow back. But a seahorse can live a long and happy life with a portion of the tail missing. I've seen multiple seahorses that had tail rot that has been cured, or I personally had a seahorse with an injured tail that was cured that lived for a very long time. I know Dan has told me a story many times. Dan of Seahorse Source has told me a story many times of a seahorse that literally lost its tail up to, it just literally had a nub. It couldn't even hitch, and yet it was able to live a long and happy life in a tank that he made specific to its circumstances. And Ray just jumped in. Sorry I didn't make it, but the Toronto Maple Leafs were getting beat by Boston Bruins in the first round of the Stanley Cup playoffs. I get it. You're forgiven. And, all right, guys. Well, now that I'm focused on trying to help this gentleman with his female seahorse, I'm ready to go. So, if nobody else has anything else right now, Salty, you got anything else? Anybody got anything else?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, I'm going to call the stream and say Happy Wine Wednesday. Go chat with him via email. Try to work through this seahorse problem. And next week, hopefully we'll have a guest. Or either way, please come back. Make sure to subscribe so that you know when we go live. Ray will be here next week, I'm sure. And with that, I will say Happy Wine Wednesday and see you next week, guys. Cheers. Say bye, Salty.
See ya.